I want to talk about being a moto dad for a little bit here. How is it that the tables have turned now?
Yeah, it's completely flipped. It's, so I've obviously been in it for my entire life. Started riding dirt bikes around 4, racing seriously around, I think 10, around 99 is when I think my first amateur national was. So I've kind of seen all angles and all facets of it. And now being, I have twin boys, they both race. And now I'm doing it all over again. Now I understand why my dad was so fucking pissed when I either didn't perform or was a dick. Cause like, dude, it's and we just started, by the way, like we're into this amateur, like full-time scene, like 6-7-ish months. So, I'm really getting, up to speed as quick as possible, but dude, it's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, I got to ask too. Now that you're also a mechanic now too. So we doing tire changes? Are we doing the whole deal?
So I'm lucky enough to be in my position to where I have an ex factory mechanic. Recently was with Chase last year. So good buddy of ours. So he helps me out. But as for I'm washing bikes, cleaning filters, things like that. I'm not doing top ends. Not yet, not for me. So that's why I have Kyle. But yes, it's full time, especially with the two of them going at the same time. Even when we're at the track, it's like, checking this bike over, and he's like, hey, "Can I go out and ride? I got to put fuel in your bike and this and that." And it's just like it's a gong show.
All right, we got a guest question from Vicky Golden about this subject. Here we go.
Hey guys, Vicky Golden here. Obviously a huge fan of the Bomb Hole podcast. I've got a question for RV. We all know every kid never listens to their parents, even if they're 100% right. Do you think there's going to be a time in your kid's riding career where you're going to have to spend the money you earned winning Supercross and Motocross championships to pay a trainer that's slower than you to teach your kids how to ride?
Well, Vicky, it's already in the process. We already kind of do that. It's bizarre, man. I have two. Each of them are completely different mentalities, builds, the way they think. Everything's so different. So I have one that's pretty quiet. Well, I shouldn't say quiet, but when it comes to the motorcycle, he just listens. I don't really get on him very much at all because his mentality. Now the other one is like he's got a thick skull, and I have to chew his ass. I have to get on him, and he wants to argue and says, "Oh, I am doing that." I said, "Dude, I just watched you not do it for fucking 10 minutes. You tell me you did it." So I'm already doing that. Yeah, I literally am already doing that. And my dad had to do the same thing with me. He hired a riding coach back in the day. Still out there in the game now. Jay Whipple is his name. He hired him to basically so my dad could tell Jay what he wanted me to do, and then Jay would tell me what to do, but it actually came from my dad.
That's incredible. Is there ever moments where you're like, "Hey, I was a champion. I know what I'm talking about."
Dude, all the time. I'm like, "Do you think I just pulled this shit out of my ass?" Like literally. And I have to tell him, like, that's once a week. That's once a week. Like, I was like, I know you guys never saw me race professional, like, current professionally racing, but it's all over YouTube. How do you think I got on YouTube? I'm a YouTube star from what I did. I'm not a YouTuber. And there's thousands of hours on there. Like, how do you think you make it on there?
It's incredible. We got a follow-up question on this subject from Jace from Gypsy Tales. Here we go.
Hi, Ryan. It's Jace from Gypsy Tales. Just interested in understanding your thoughts around the current rules for red flags in 50 races and what you do to change these rules to make it better on all participants. Thanks for the time, mate. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, so I was with Jace. Man, it must have been 3, 4, 5 days ago. We were in Tallahassee for 2026 Yamaha intro photo shoot and stuff like that. So I'd flown out there. Jace was there. I actually didn't know he was going to be there. So was there, and then we ended up going to Outback Steakhouse, and we're rapping, we're hanging out, we're having some beers, and we start talking, and then something came up about amateur racing and this and that, and I said, yeah, oh fuck, we raced Sunday. Well, I was pulled into Glen Helen Thursday, Friday practice, Saturday, Sunday race, parked the rig Sunday night, and then got on a plane and flew to Tallahassee Monday morning. So all of that, I was smoked. Get there, then I start telling the story of like, yes, we had a mud race at Glen Helen. They pulled the red flag with 1 lap to go. I got super fucking heated. So mini dad, in me is starting to come out. My wife's like, dude, you're gonna get thrown out of here, and also you're an asshole when you're like this. Like, you need to calm down. And I'm like, sorry, maybe it's just because I've been around the sport for 30 odd years. Like, a little common sense would be nice. So, yes, I don't even know what the rule is with the red flag. Obviously, I know what the rule is. Just red flag, restart the race. But we were on 50s, pretty decent mud race at Glen Helen. It's just really hard on the bikes, and I lost my shit. So that's the story.
Thanks for clarifying. That's fantastic. I got a question. What are you saying to your kids on the gate?
Clearly, well, I've been told I talk too much, actually, by my one, Gage. He goes, I said, we were at Mesquite, Nevada for World Mini, and he wasn't riding great. So I put him up in the top bunk. Him and Brax, they share a big top bunk in the rig. And I'm like, hey man, how do you think? What could we work on tomorrow? You pick one thing. You guys want to work on, and let's work on it. And they spout off some shit and whatever else. And then I said, well, what? How could I be better? Like we have to work as a team to do this. And Gage goes, well, dude, he goes, Dad, you just talk way too much on the line. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to say? He goes, just say like 3 things, not 50. Well, I'm like, I've got to get it in to tell you what not to do and to do. We're sitting on the line, and I get amped up. Obviously, like, we're on the line. I'm a racer. Like, we're racers through and through. So like, I'm getting fired up, and I'm like, okay, do this, don't do that. Watch that kicker, watch that rut. Go there, do this. And he's like, I have no idea what to do. Obviously, that's what's going through his head. You're just fucking talking diarrhea out your mouth.
Yeah, that's facts.